Crystal Williams Brown. I've been struggling a bit with how to share my creative process. I'm not an editor or a cinematographer or anything like that. So I was kind of delaying with doing anything because I didn't know how to do those things. And it really didn't seem that desirable to me to try to figure it out. So to kind of mitigate the concerns regarding how I was going to get content together, I guess we call it content, I'm just going to do some unedited progress videos so you can just see me working on some things. Right. Probably won't be the full thing. I do have to go. So what I have here is I had some overalls that were too small for me to wear, and I really liked them, so I had the thought that I would modify them so that I could fit them. Now, I've been debating a lot about how to modify them, if I want to try adding a panel into the pants. Sorry, I have been sick. Sorry. I've been getting better, but I am still sick. So I debated about having just to put the top onto a skirt. These are just the back of the overalls. So if I were to do that, I would need to cut it off right about here in order to have that happen. Then I thought about having it actually just be like an dress itself that's like an overdress, which I kind of like the idea of that. Like it's almost like an apron over top of a frilly skirt pattern, but I also don't really know exactly how I would do that. So I guess you can kind of just chill with me while I'm hitting the point now where I'm trying to figure out, I dropped my pen, to figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing with this. And I also have to fight the idea of like ruining it. You're gonna ruin it and then it'll be a waste. I don't really want to think that way. So maybe I should treat the top part like make it into a dress first with like slits on the side to allow the inner fabric to come through. And the thing with that is, I think that may be the way to go first, because if I end up not really liking where that's going, I can still separate the top from the bottom, whereas if I go with the separation mode, it'll be harder to go back to we're keeping the pants part. So let's see, if I were to turn palms into a dress, you have a gap here that'll be in the middle of the legs. I think we'll probably keep that, but we may want to fold in these edges. So that might be what I'm doing today, folding in these edges and just doing a little stitch across it. Probably won't do any real serious lock in place stitch, just maybe do a running stitch on the pieces to see what I'm doing. Maybe I should do a sketch, actually. Let's see. So, I got my pen. Let's get some paper. So, something I've wanted to do for a while is work on clothing, but I thought I would not be very good at it, so I don't know. But I figure you don't know until you try, right? So let's give it a shot. Anyhow, so we'll have the top bottle. See what I'm doing? I don't know if I should look over here. That's the other thing that's difficult about recording myself, because I just kind of work wherever. I'm trying to be a little bit more organized so that it's easier to follow what I'm doing. So option I was thinking about is we have this top piece, and then out from it we do this kind of frilly skirt, have the overalls still. So overalls over a skirt. I would lose pockets, but I could add in pockets to the dress. So, whatever. So this is, I'll do some, well, I'm gonna sneeze. Let's just do little squiggles for flowers. How are y'all doing today? Feel free to share any stories, any projects that you're working on, any advice that you have for me where you're like, okay, she's could use some help, or I just know some stuff, because everybody knows different things and they have different experiences, so it's good to get like little feedback and help from each other. Actually, I'm very limited in my experiences. I have experienced a lot in my life. I've studied animation, I studied programming, and worked as a programmer for several years. I'm a fine artist. I've had some work in small galleries. I actually have an exhibit up now that I'm going to be collecting this weekend to bring back here and figure out what to do with it. I've been kind of feeling lost with my art, and I think it's really because it's good for me psychologically in some ways, but I was also using it as a crutch. Like, you have these drawing skills, so of course you should be using that as your career and trying to focus on that and figure out what to do to make that work, but I wasn't able to figure out what to do with it. And I know that's because that's not actually what I want to do. I don't necessarily want to be, a painter as a profession or something. So, I am fabricator of fashion. Can we call that there? Can we call that that? I don't know what you would call me. I did want to study fashion design, but I was scared, so I did not go for that. Then I also thought, you don't have the money to do that. You need to be figuring out what to do money-wise. Money is a big deterrent for doing a lot of things. So I always felt like I didn't have the skill set, don't understand like using patterns and such. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I think it also depends on how complex the pattern is, and probably could use some practice, but also guidance from someone more experienced than myself. I've a bit different thoughts now than when I was younger regarding finding it really intimidating when I would try to work with patterns, and it completely disregarding the fact that I used to make my own patterns. You know, I made what worked for me, and I still do. You know, I would just disregard what I was doing as not official. Everything was, I'm just kind of making it work. It's, ramshackle. It's not really official. Things like even the fact that I have been wardrobe supervisor on multiple productions. Like, okay, but it was like film students pieces, or it was just a small theater in New Jersey for just one run of a production for an internship, and that my internship wasn't originally for wardrobe, but I ended up making it for wardrobe by the end. I ended up having a wardrobe internship by the end. I started as just an all-purpose office intern, printing off like copies of plays and getting the type of person who would like get you coffee or whatever, that kind of thing, organized, clean. But then I never even wanted to just stick to my job, so I started taking any time I had to brainstorm ideas and start doing other stuff and getting more involved in other aspects of the company. And so then I started, I was doing a lot of marketing stuff actually for them, which is another place I judge myself on, like, hey, you don't know how to do marketing, and like, you do it though, or you have like these ideas. I guess the ideas, like, are they good ideas? I don't know. People do seem to like my ideas. Are they good? I don't know. This is idea one. I'm really not sure about that. So, let's see, idea two. We'll have the top part is the same. But when we get to the bottom, maybe I should put the back in the front. So if I put the back in the front, then I can have more of this apron. Maybe it should be short. Let's see. The back of the pants, attach the back of the pants to the front. That's mainly because I feel like there's such a gap in the front. I'm not really sure what to do with it if I stitch it together. Let's get I'm using my grandma's sewing kit. Memories. My mom has my sewing kit. had the same sewing kit since I think high school, which was, I graduated from high school in 2004. Graduated from high school in 2004. Okay, so let's look at this. We have this in the front. See, it kind of goes in. I guess it's not terrible. But should I split it and have fabric come through the front as well as the sides? Let's see what that looks like. But it does make it more like a pencil, which is going to make it even slimmer. But if it's not attached on the side, then I guess it's okay. I'm talking about pinning it in the, sewing this together in the center, makes it makes it more narrow. So we have this fabric. And this is fabric that I already had. I'm using stuff that was already here in the house. I don't remember what I got this for. I have a lot of fabric that I've had for many years and don't remember where I got it from anymore, or why I got it. Some are remnants from projects that I did. Some are not even used. This was not used ever, I don't believe. Oh, there's one more pen in here. So let's take. That's my smock. It's a house coat. We'll consider it a smock because I use it for when I'm working on art. I don't really use it as a general house coat. I use it for whenever I'm working on art pieces. What is the top? This is the top. That's the upward pattern. Okay. So it's just interesting because that's not the long way. So I'd probably have to work this in panels anyway. Okay, so we have this piece here. I'm just gonna pen it and make kind of a ruffle. So we're just gonna make this up. I mean, of course we're making it up. But you know what I mean. We're just futzing around. Okay. So you have this. That's the fabric here. And then I guess it would be, I'm going to just pin to the side of this leg. Pin to the side of this leg. We'll figure it out later. The pattern direction, I mean. This leg. Another pin. Two. Okay. So my shoulder. So that's the other option. So it'd be done here, and then it's a little funky, right? But it could actually work. So they wouldn't actually be sewn together. This would be sewn to itself, and then this would be a layer underneath that would just poke through however it pokes through. But I think I may actually go with this. So, going with this option, what I'll do body has its own quirks. So, going with that option, I would need to streamline this piece. Try to get it to have a nice, non-puckered, weird pooch effect going on. That's my goal. You don't want a pooch. So I'm actually just going to do the top part first. Ouch, I stabbed myself. Do the top part first. And see if I can get it to be non-weird. And I kind of want it to be like an archway. No, maybe I should put it on the table rather than on the legs. Push over there. I need to roll this. Put you over there. Actually, leave you there. Let's move this. I like how I didn't finish the other sketch, but that's alright. This is the top piece, and keep it there. Alright. Hand over. Alright. So let's see. Alright, and I'm about to stop this video, I think at the half-hour mark. Let's move this down. I think I want to snip this. So let's the quad area up to here. Where are my scissors? Okay. I should get the back, but I'll do it over the table, so my table will just be messy. But I had the smock for when I was disassembling this. Alright. Yeah, I'm about to sign off. But I do kind of want you to see what I end up doing with this particular piece. Oh yeah, and I'm going to leave the top, the back, I'll leave the back whole. I won't cut off the legs from it for now. I'm just also going to smooth out the separations so that it looks better laying on top of the skirt. It doesn't have to be, try to think of like what exactly I was making, like what would you call it? I guess you could call it, I don't know, oops, snip that. What's that thing? No, not a petticoat. Is it a petticoat? I actually have one in my closet where it's got like the, it's kind of like overalls, but a dress. Is that the right thing? And like ties around. I don't even know if I'm describing this properly. If y'all know, write what it's called in the chat if you have any clue what I'm talking about. Okay. Do I want to go all the way up here? Let's see. This is actually was kind of hard to take apart. Not like, it was a little intensive taking it apart. Yeah, it was sewn well. So, I actually got this originally from Amazon. It's quite hard shopping for my size. So, I've gained weight, which has made it even more difficult for me to find clothes. I gained weight since I bought this, but it didn't really fit well when I first got it. It was too tight then, so it's only gotten worse with time. And I tried to make it work. I actually wore it originally, but it was uncomfortable because of how tight it was. It's always been hard finding my size. So I wanted to change my size and did all this work and stuff. But it's actually really hard to change my size. I have to put a lot of work into it, and even then I don't change but so much. There's always been like this kind of cap to how much weight I can lose. I do want to lose weight because I think I'm too heavy now, and what my weight now is like a combination of some health issues along with medications that put weight on you. I have stopped taking a chunk of the medications that were putting weight on me. I still am on some that do, but I'm not on as many. That's more recent, and I did lose about 6 pounds when I first did that. So, and that was the only change that I made, was weaning off of the medication. So we'll see. And that's a really recent change. I just I've done pretty much this is the first month of me just being completely off those medications. So I got time to work on that, but I'm not thinking that I'm going to like super like all of a sudden be losing a whole bunch of weight, because I've never been very, except for like maybe when I was like 5 years, like when I was like 5 years old, or because even towards the end of elementary school, I was pretty heavy. I didn't stay small long. I think once puberty hit, the weight really started racking up, and then just stayed. And I struggled with it a lot. Kids teased me about my weight a lot. They teased me in elementary school. They called me Free Willy, which bummed me out because Free Willy was my favorite movie. They didn't know that, though. They didn't know it was my favorite Willy movie. They were just calling me a whale. Though, there was a plus to that because, I was like, okay, they're making fun of how heavy I am, but also I really like that movie, and, Willy is awesome, so. So what if I look like Willy? It was kind of, I've always had like this weird, maybe it's not weird, conflicting insecurities. Like, I've had insecurities, but then also things about it where I wasn't like necessarily like, okay, that thing is not true, but almost like, well, so what if it is true? In some ways. There are other ways where I still had my full-on panic, but most of those were related to not my physicality, but just my personality and thinking people won't like me as a person. And other stuff like where I thought was really dumb and stuff, I didn't really think that was a big deal if I was dumb. Because like dumb people deserve respect and to exist too. And it's perfectly reasonable to be dumb. It's not your fault if you're have trouble learning things, like you have learning difficulties. It's not your fault. Yeah. And that's okay. And sometimes you just got to figure out a different way to learn. And that's what I worked on doing, figuring out a different way to learn. And discovered in college that I could actually be very clever. I could do really well in school. Not that school is a accurate measure of intelligence all the time, because there's so many cases where it's not. And I was really done dirty by the school system, with plenty of cases where I actually wasn't being taught at all, and I had a time where I didn't have a teacher in my class for a full semester, or a full term in high school. We did not have a teacher. The other students wouldn't go to class, but I would still go and sit there. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. Somebody was going to come in and teach me. And it was a subject I was struggling with already, so I'm like, man, I could really use some help. Teachers had overcrowded classrooms, and teachers who didn't really want to field all the questions of the class, and made me feel real dumb when I had a question. So when I got to college, I had a lot of insecurities about asking questions, but decided to do it anyway, because it's that conflict. It's that other side of me where it'd be like, oh, they're gonna think I'm dumb or being annoying, and I'm like, well, so what? I want to ask. We're gonna ask. So go ahead and ask. And then it actually went better when I was in college and I had questions. The response was much better, which encouraged me to ask more questions and get more help, and I started doing better. Who would have thunk it? If you can ask questions and get appropriate answers without being mocked for having questions, you could probably learn some things. Ha ha ha. Strange and weird, right? No, it makes like perfect sense, and I blame teachers not doing that on their own insecurities or inabilities or whatever. That's not my bag. It's not my hang up, it's theirs. Oh, did I go over time? Yeah, I'm a little over. I'm trying to keep it short because I have no idea how much memory I have on my phone. Also, they're coming here to do repairs because I have a leak over there. I'm working in this room, and this part of the carpet over here by this open door is completely soaking wet. Like, it squishes when you walk on it. It's really gross. And it's spilling out onto the laminate floor in my bathroom. I have a towel on there to catch the spill, but the towel is soaking wet, so I'm going to have to move that or trade that out. Yeah, it's a lot of water. This section is dry, but I don't know for how long. It's inching towards me. It ends kind of at this little the break where this little hall area, that's where the water is. But it'll probably be over this way soon. They're supposed to be coming to work on it today, whatever time that is. Life be lifing. Alright. I do another video to let you see where I'm at with this. I may do some rest today. I may rest because I'm tired and a lot has been happening. I also have to get rid of that feeling of responsibility of where, like, I need to constantly be doing something or I'm not worthy. I've had some health issues and injuries and stuff recently, and I know that I need to rest. Currently, they're investigating. Supposed to get an MRI, which I may not be able to do because I had an iron injection this month, and they're like, I have to hold on getting because I may have torn ligaments and I'm in pain. I probably need to rest. Okay. Or I may have torn ligaments. That's what their MRI is for. It's likely that it's torn up inside me. Okay. So, it's probably best that I rest. And then I'll work on this later and do another video to get you up on how this is coming along. I just realized that I'm very matchy. I just happen to like the same color. When I really like a color, I have a lot of it, so yeah, this is completely a coincidence. I did not notice. I'm super... Is this the same shade? Almost. It's a little darker. Wow, I'm like... It's a little darker. Okay. Is it the same shade as this? Oh, it is the same shade. Okay. Bye-bye.